very good group of horses heading over to Ascot. Begins on Tuesday, June 19th, goes all the way through Saturday, June 23rd. Our coverage of Royal Ascot with Scott Hazelton on site. Going to be presented to you by Lane's End. And one of the feature races of that first day is going to be the Group 1 King Stand Stakes. I think one of the races where America seems to really have kind of a stranglehold in this race. And one of our leading contenders is going to be Bucchero. And for more about Bucchero, we bring in his trainer, Tim Glyshaw. Tim, thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, this is a horse who seems to have really captured the attention of all of America. He's an Indiana bred. He wasn't purchased for a huge sum of money as far as horse racing is concerned, and yet he seems to have gone on to spectacular heights. What is it you think that makes him so relatable to your everyday American watching the races at home?
I think partially what you said, that he wasn't a $400,000 or $500,000 purchase, and he's made all his money through his 3-year-old year and part of his 4-year-old year in a state bred program in Indiana. That's a very good state bred program. I know a lot of people up there follow him, and when he won the Woodford at Keeneland last year, and then went to the Breeders' Cup and had a very good showing, and finished 4th, got beat a length, and without some traffic trouble very well, he probably hits the board. Maybe he's very, very close at the end. People in America like that kind of story. The American Pharaohs of the world are, we all love them, and they're super horses, but people appreciate a horse like Bucchero that wasn't purchased for much, and then go on to running in these type of races that we're getting to run in here Tuesday.
We just saw a look at his run in the Woodford, a race that really seemed to put him on the map. He went off at such a big price that day coming out of some of those races for the Indiana breds. Did you always have full confidence in him that you thought he could get the job done in there?
We've always thought he was more, our opinion, mine's and Iron Horse Racing, Harlan Malters, was that he was a turf sprinter. He had won at Parks before I got him in a turf sprint in open company. We were, but it's hard not to take advantage of the Indiana program. He also won in an open race at 5 furlongs there. We thought he'd run well in the Woodford. It's tough to say that I'd be lying to you if I told you I thought he was going to win. I just wanted him to run well. Things just set up really well for him that day. Greg Foley's horse went to the lead and opened up some distance, and we sat in a really good spot for second, and Fernando de la Cruz gave him a great ride, and I know a lot of people questioned that race, and rightfully so at the odds he was at, and then we went on to the Breeders' Cup, and I think that sort of validated that race because he was so close in the Breeders' Cup, and again at 30 to 1 or so, and his 2 races this year, back at Keeneland in the Grade 2, Bound for Nowhere of Wesley's, that's also going to be running here in a different race. There was no beating him that day, so I was very proud of Bucchero's effort. And then at the Grade 3 at Churchill on Oaks Day, he got bumped really, really hard by the favorite, Paco Lopez, on the favorite that day coming around the turn, and I really, really think that cost him a lot to get his stride back, and I think he would probably have been right there with Brad Cox's horse at the end. So, we're hoping that he gets back up to the numbers that he was towards the end of last fall, but as you all know, it's hard to keep horses at the running at peak performance year round, but I think he's rounding back into that. And obviously, there's some changes over here. We're going to be running straight, a little bit uphill, and no Lasix, all of which I don't think should be a problem for him. You never know, but we're expecting a really big performance from him, and if he shows up and runs his race, I think he'll be there at the end. Whether that's a win, I couldn't tell you, but I think he definitely has the potential to hit the board, and the bookmakers over here, from what we've seen, he's somewhere between 26 and 33 to 1, which seems what he likes to be in the big races. So, we're hoping for a big effort from him.
That it does. The Group 1 King Stand Stakes, a race that has a really storied history, whether it was Lady Aurelia, Soul Power, horses like Takeover Target, or even Schwazier, who've won the race. What is it about Bucchero that you thought this was a really good spot for him to run in?
he's just ever since last fall he's proven that he's one of the top 6-7 turf sprinters in the United States. I think a lot of that was justified with what just happened at Belmont. We beat Disco Partner in the race at Keeneland. We also beat Lady Aurelia in the Breeders' Cup last year. Of course, not her top effort. That happened. We all know that. But that sort of justified to us that he belongs with these kind of horses. We don't have any doubts that we know there's some Batash and some very tough European horses over here as well, and we're going to be running on their home turf. So we're sort of up against it. We understand that, but he deserves this opportunity just from what he's shown us from the last few races last year, and then the first three races this year. And if you're one of the forum people that go by the third and fourth race back as their best effort, then that he's sitting right on that right now, and we're hoping that's the case.
One more question left for you. Thank you again for joining us. But we've seen what he's done. We've seen, one of the highest earning Indiana breds ever, and probably by the end of his career ends up being the highest ever. Every race that runs in, no matter the class level, he seems to always be right there in the finish. Can you tell us, what does a horse like Bucchero mean to you as a trainer and as a person?
Well, I mean, as a lot of you know, I lost my only Grade 1 winner, Roller Alley, earlier this year at Keeneland, which was one of the toughest things I've ever had to go through. Bucchero gave me my first Grade 2 win, and at the time, that was my highest. And then a week later, Roller Alley went on, and then in the Patterson Canadian International Woodbine. But he's definitely very special. I'm from Indiana. He's an Indiana bred. So taking a horse like this that was bred in my home state to wonderful places like we are now, and stabling at Newmarket, and going to run at Royal Ascot, it's just sort of unbelievable. But he's definitely one of the most important horses in our barn. We love them all, but the good ones we always care a little bit more for, and he's a very special horse, and he'll always be one of the fondest horses of mine 20 years from now. So he's taken us. He and Bullard both took our stable and myself to a lot of places that we had never imagined we'd go.
The Hoosier State going to be representing at Royal Ascot. Tim, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you and Bucchero in the King's Stand Stakes.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
Group 1 King's Stand Stakes featuring Bucchero. Lady Aurelia going to be in there as well. Race number 3 on day 1 of the meeting at Royal Ascot. You can catch that at 7:40 a.m. Pacific time, 10:40 a.m. Eastern as part of our coverage.